Horror isn't just about jump scares. It's about tension, atmosphere, and stories that burrow deep into your mind long after the screen goes dark. Today, we're stepping into the shadows to explore IMDb's highest rated horror TV shows, the ones fans insist you should experience at least once. For these series, I've pulled the top IMDb choices as of today, filtered out the outliers, and only included shows with a minimum vote count to make sure the ratings weren't carried by a handful of superfans. What's left is the real deal, the horror shows that thousands of viewers agree are worth losing sleep over. So grab your blanket, dim the lights, and join me as we descend into the terrifying realm of the top 10 horror shows you need on your watch list.
It's not like that.
Yeah, the movie that you said you'd seen 100 times that I wanted to...
He thinks that I'm attracted to you sexually.
Kicking off our countdown at number 10, we've got Bates Motel. If you thought you knew Norman Bates from Psycho, think again. This show is a dark, claustrophobic journey that gives us the definitive origin story for one of horror's most messed up killers. We watch as Norman transforms from a shy, troubled teenager into the monster we all know. And the true horror here? It's his relationship with his mother, Norma. The very first episode alone drops you deep into their crazy, codependent world. You're forced to witness Norma's fierce and desperate attempt to protect her son at all costs, only to inadvertently push him closer to the abyss, blurring the line between motherly love and romantic obsession. The whole series is a masterclass in psychological dread, showcasing how trauma and obsession can wrap a mind until it finally snaps. And just wait until you see the scene where Norman finally comes to terms with the terrifying reality of his mother personality taking over. A truly chilling sight to witness. Funny yet scary. 10 certified picks. Link on the screen.
Don't touch him! Haven't you done enough?
Except if you've been living under a rock for the past decade, you should have at least heard of this powerhouse of a series, that is The Walking Dead. Though the story involves zombies called walkers, its focus is the humans, making it something that you'll get used to and even support once you're fully in. The narrative sees a group of survivors led by former sheriff's deputy Rick Grimes, who wakes up to a world overrun by the undead. As the group searches for safe haven, moving from farms and prisons to the walled community of Alexandria. Their humanity is tested by increasingly dangerous human factions. They have to deal with cannibals, the ruthless governor, and the terrifyingly organized saviors led by Negan, who have established their own self-serving violent laws. Commit to this one and you'll find a relentless exploration of what individuals are willing to sacrifice to maintain civilization, testing the limits of morality and leadership in a world without rules.
You can cram us into a selfie.
Honiklas is the virtuoso of cramming his siblings into confined spaces.
Well, I'm so glad.
You see, I am the maker, the creator, the founding father. I am the one who chooses the leader here. And fortunately for every last one of you...
Family scattered. Nick stayed so he could help me bury her. He knew I had to say goodbye to my mother. I know you think she was...
You know, when I first came back from Mr. Falls...
Next up is the originals, and to get started with this one, what do you think when you hear of a vampire show? You probably think of young kids in high school, right? But imagine a world where the characters aren't just vampires, but the first, most powerful vampires to ever stalk the earth. That's the Originals. As a spin-off of The Vampire Diaries, the series focuses on the siblings Claus, Elijah, and Rebecca, the Originals, as they return to New Orleans, a city they helped found centuries ago to reclaim their power they deserve. The show covers a deep theme of family loyalty and the curse of immortality. The siblings are constantly betraying and saving each other, often with a dagger to the heart, only to wake up centuries later. The main conflict is a wicked power struggle between the Originals, the powerful witches, and the werewolves of the city. Daily horror news and lists at likehorror.com.
Somoni.
We will follow it to Mina.
Yes.
At number 7, prepare your eyes for Penny Dreadful. This has to be one of the most atmospheric and poetically dark horror shows on the list. Setting the whole thing in foggy, gaslit Victorian London, Penny Dreadful creates a bloody gothic mashup of all the classic horror stories you know, and it's fantastic. We follow a powerful psychic named Vanessa Ives, Sir Malcolm Murray, and explorers searching for his daughter and an American gunslinger, Ethan Chandler. Together, they have to navigate the city's supernatural underbelly, encountering legendary figures like Dr. Victor Frankenstein, the eternally beautiful Dorian Gray, and even Dracula himself. You're not only going to be captivated by Vanessa's very frequent possessions, but also by characters like Victor Frankenstein and his desperate attempt to conquer death, which eventually leads to the creation of his well-known monster. The plot is rich, the costumes are gorgeous, and the drama is always intense. This is literary horror made breathtakingly beautiful.
We gave peace a chance. Now it's time for war.
For y'all who crave crazy action, funny humor, and massive amounts of cartoonish blood, then Ash vs. Evil Dead is bound to satisfy your hunger. It's a new and refreshing continuation of the classic Evil Dead movie trilogy, following the original B-movie hero Ash Williams about 30 years later. He's now living an easy, boring life as a stock boy until he accidentally reads from the Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead, again, unleashing the Deadites upon the world. What an idiot. Now older, but still armed with his broomstick and chainsaw hand, Ash teams up with his co-workers, Pablo and Kelly, to save mankind. It's a riot of over-the-top gore and slapstick comedy, but it also covers the theme of having to step up and be a hero when you'd rather just retire to a trailer park. In the field of action horror, this show is definitely one to look out for. Before we kick off our top 5 picks, which series do you think would end up as the #1 choice? Let us know in the comments.
Hey, you leave my baby alone.
Kicking off our top 5 countdown, we have Supernatural. If you're looking for something with a massive amount of lore, great characters, and a show that you can easily binge watch for long hours, then Supernatural should be just for you. The story is centered around brothers Sam and Dean Winchester. They're hunters who track down their missing father, John, who taught them the family business, saving people and hunting things. Over the years, they face everything from classic ghosts and vampires to demons, angels, and even Big Bad Lucifer. The series is powered by one thing: the unbreakable ride-or-die bond between the two brothers. You'll see their missions expand into an entire cosmos of danger. This includes incredible high-stakes moments, like when Dean stares down the devil himself, forcing them to confront their own destiny as the world's ultimate heroes.
How do you see me?
The mongoose I went under the house when the snakes slid by.
Honestly, when watching this series, all I could think of was peak psychological horror. Hannibal takes all the elements of a dark thriller and uses them to create one of the best and most stylish serial killer series ever made. Set as a prequel to the Hannibal Lecter novels, the show follows FBI profiler Will Graham and the brilliant forensic psychiatrist Dr. Hannibal Lecter, who is secretly a cannibalistic serial killer. Will is brought in because he has an uncanny ability to emphasize with killers, and the show explores the terrifying, beautiful, and twisted relationship that develops between the two men. As you delve deeper into the series, the psychological manipulation will intensify, turning Will's empathy into a terrifying liability, forcing him to blur the lines between hunter and monster in his attempts to catch the infamous Chesapeake Ripper. Hannibal is truly a remarkable entry with a unique representation of a simple story that I promise you will love.
The last time we were here, they were still deep inside the buildings. Then I guess enough people came through looking for...
At number 3, we have The Last of Us. The show manages to be a genuinely adrenaline-filled survival journey while delivering a hard-hitting emotional story that left me broken. Based on the hugely popular video game, the setup drops you into a global pandemic where a fungal infection turns people into terrifying zombie-like creatures called the Infected. But the real journey starts with Joel, a hardened survivor who lost his daughter early on and whose task was smuggling a young girl named Ellie across the ruined United States because she's immune and represents humanity's last hope. Their trek is a brutal, episodic exploration of what's left of society, forcing them to deal with both the infected and ruthless surviving human groups who are even more vicious than the zombies. You'll witness firsthand the emotional dynamic bond of a found family and the desperate, morally compromising lengths Joel is willing to go to protect the one person he truly cares about.
What if I have a bad dream?
Well, I'm sure we can handle any dream you...
Landing the runner-up spot is The Haunting of Hill House, and if you ask me, this show perfectly retells the haunted house story. The series splits the Crane family across 2 timelines. First, as children when they lived in Hill House, a manor they believed to be evil. And second, as adults when a tragedy forces them to confront the terrifying trauma and supernatural events they tried to leave behind. The plot follows the 5 Crane siblings, each dealing with their own form of psychological damage and denial from their time in the house. The whole success of the show lies in its masterful use of atmosphere and visual design to hide dozens of subtle, spine-chilling Easter egg ghosts in the background of almost every single shot. It's a stunning and genuinely frightening piece of cinematic horror that proves trauma is the most powerful ghost of all, deserving its place near the top of the list.
Good night, ladies.
Finally, that number 1 spot on our list is none other than Stranger Things. Ah yes, the show that perfectly blends 80s nostalgia with pure horror and sci-fi wonder. This was one of the most talked about series when it came out and has only gotten bigger. The world is set in the small, seemingly normal town of Hawkins, Indiana, in the 1980s. The main action starts when a young boy, Will Byers, vanishes and his friends Mike, Dustin, and Lucas begin searching for him. They run into 11, a mysterious young girl with psychokinetic powers who escaped from a nearby government lab. But that's only the beginning. The real nightmare is the portal she opens to the terrifying dark alternate dimension known as the Upside Down, unleashing creatures like the Demogorgon and the ultimate villain, Vecna, whose bone-snapping kills are genuinely the scariest things the show has ever produced. Get ready for the horror to continuously scale up, and trust me, once you start watching, you might just become the series' #1 fan to ever exist. We can never tell. There you have it, 10 incredible horror shows that prove fear can be fun, at least when it's on screen. If you enjoyed this countdown, check out our video on Insidious versus The Conjuring, which horror franchise aged better, where we unpack the deep differences between the two horror movie classics. See you in the next video.